One question that I want to ask to everybody is this. How fucking amazing when momentum is part of our life? Does it feel good? Right? It feels amazing. It does feel amazing because realistically speaking, when momentum is part of our life, it's like being in a magical land, is it not? Yes. We wake up in the morning and we feel that we can literally do everything. We feel that all the fears that we have go outside the window. If we implement everything that Barry was saying before, that's how we feel. When you have momentum in your life, you're certain. When you have momentum in your life, you're confident. When you have momentum in your life, all the fears that you usually face on a day-to-day basis do not apply to yourself anymore. Do you guys agree with that one? When we have momentum in our life, we develop the mindset of, I got this. No matter what it is that you face, no matter what it is that is trying to bring you down, you got fucking everything. The normal rules that apply to the normal fucking human beings out there, they no longer apply to you when you have momentum in your life. Do you guys agree with that? Yeah. When you have momentum in your life, you're feeling invincible. And that's the main point. Some of you might like to watch the superhero movies. Who like the Marvel movies, by the way? When you have momentum in your life, that's how I fucking feel. You become your own superhero. No matter what happens, you can defeat it. No matter how difficult the situation is, you can overcome it. Okay? Every single day is predictable. Every single day is good. And we all know exactly how that fucking feels, don't we? Because that's the magical time. That's the magical time when we go to the field, day in, day out. The manager asks you in the morning, what's your goal today? And you say fucking 7. And you can see it in your eye contact that you're going to do 7 and you just do it. And the day after you back it up. And then you back it up. It just seems that people are just nicer to you out there when you have momentum in your life. Do you guys agree? You go out there and all of a sudden the same suburb we used to knock 3 months ago and everybody was a fucking dickhead, you go back to the same place and they're like, welcome here, it's so nice to see you. And you just walk around and everybody say yes. It just feels that there is something, this intangible force, this intangible energy, something has fully switched in your existence. That's what momentum feels like. Can we agree on that one? At the end of the day, the way I like to explain it, guys, momentum is like being in a relationship. Write this down. Who's in a relationship in this room? Raise your hand if you are. Yeah. Keep your hand up if you are in a happy relationship. All right. Nobody, you're doubting it a little bit. Take a photo of that guy. No, I'm joking. Okay. Momentum, we can make some extra money about blackmailing people today as well. Momentum is like being in a relationship, guys. When you are in an amazing relationship, here's what happened. Tell me if you can acknowledge this one. You wake up in the morning and no matter how tough your previous day was, you wake up in the morning and your partner is there for you. Even though you may be a little bit tired, even though you may be a little bit down, your partner looks at you into the eyes and say, sweetheart, sweetie, baby, whatever terminology it is that you call each other with, have an amazing day, I'm sure you will. And the way your partner looks at you with that amazing smile, with that amazing contact, just fucking gives you the energy that you need, because at least there is one fucking person that believes in you. Can anyone relate to that? Momentum is the same. When momentum is present in your life, you wake up in the morning and it's a presence. It's literally what it is. We can't explain it. It's funny because momentum can be measured, can be touched. It's even difficult to describe what the fuck this fucking momentum is in the first place. There is a formula. Mass multiplied by velocity is momentum. Well, we can recite that formula, but still means fucking nothing. What the fuck is it? But when it is in your life, it feels like being in a relationship is there. You wake up every single day and momentum is just looking at you and be like, man, today is going to be another amazing day. You can do anything. But man, I'm a little bit fearful. Don't be fearful. You're fucking invincible. You're the best man. You're the best woman that I can ever met. And if there is one person on this earth that can accomplish every single motherfucking dream, that person is going to be you. That's what having momentum feels like. Feels like being in love with somebody. Having momentum in your life feels like this love that is never going to go away. Feels like this love that is unbreakable and is going to last forever. Until something changes. Until something changes. You can't quite explain why, but momentum is not there every single morning anymore. The presence is not as consistent as it was. It's not giving you the same attention that it used to give you before. So you start doubting. And in our head, we start creating self-conflicting thoughts. We start doubting about the presence of momentum in the first place. And that doubt always starts with a word, which is a very dangerous word, and the word is maybe. And we say the following to ourselves: maybe it was just luck. Maybe all these sales, maybe all these wins, maybe all these results that I managed to accomplish over the last month or two, maybe I just got lucky. It's possible. You know, maybe I've never been good. Maybe I've never been special. And then what happens is we keep thinking about this. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have been in this situation before. Can I say that with confidence, by the way? This thought process becomes stronger. We keep doubting. And the problem is that over time, guys, that maybe turns into certainty. And we don't say to ourselves anymore, maybe it was just luck. Now we say, of course it was just luck. I'm a fool. Why did I fucking think for a second that I was special? Me? I am and I will always be what I've always been. I'm just fucking average. And we start bringing each other down. And we go from this magical land, the magical land of momentum that I just described at the beginning. Everything turns into darkness. And it's such a tricky situation to be in, by the way. Because whenever this happens, it just feels the momentum was there 4 days ago. We are fucking confused. We wonder and ponder, how can something vanish that fucking quickly? Feels like being on a one night stand with somebody that you thought that you love, and you wake up in the morning and all of a sudden that person is not there anymore. That magical land, that beach, that sun is gone. We are now in the land of fucking darkness where everything is dark, including our fucking thoughts. Are you guys with me so far? And as a consequence of that, what happened, guys? We develop negative emotions. Initially, we feel guilty because once again, for the 10th fucking time, we are letting everyone down. Again, we're letting everyone down. All these people that have put time into me, again, I'm letting them down. Guilt is followed by embarrassment. We don't even want to show our face anymore. We don't want to face these people. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to be in this position again. It's embarrassing to repeat the same fucking mistake again. It's embarrassing to be down at the bottom again. I've been here before. I don't even know what the fuck I'm going to say to these people. And when we experience embarrassment in our life, here's how embarrassment manifests, by the way. We start getting sick. We get sick more often because we don't want to show our face. So our brain is going to look for a way to make sure that we fucking stay in bed. Very quickly, that embarrassment turns into resentment. We start resenting people because how can they fucking understand? They don't know what's going through my life. They don't know my personal situation. They got it easier. They don't know all the shit that I gotta deal with. My situation is different, and that turns into anger. Before you know it, life becomes a very fucking exhausting exercise. Who's been there before? Everything is exhausting, man. No matter how many hours you sleep a night. You know, you always say to yourself in these instances, I need to sleep more. And you fucking try. And you sleep 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. But no matter what the fuck it is that you do, you wake up every single morning and you're just exhausted. Do you know these mornings where you get up and you're even questioning whether you fell asleep in the first place? Have you guys been there? Everything is exhausting. The simple task that 2 weeks ago were so easy to conduct, now they become like a fucking burden on your shoulders. In our business, 2 weeks ago, doing 4 sales in a day was so simple. All of a sudden, how can it be so fucking complicated? Everything is exhausting. When we go to sleep at night, we're so tired that we can't even fucking fall asleep. Can you guys relate to what I just said? Like I said, It's like going through a breakup. Who's going through a breakup before? Raise your hand. Is it an enjoyable experience? Sometimes it could be, depending on what you just broke up with, okay? But most of the times it shouldn't be. And like a breakup with momentum, you go through stages. The first one is I love you. When momentum is in your life, you are in love. You're confident that it's always going to be that way. The second stage, you are convinced that you got something special. This entity, this presence is never going to leave. Me and this entity have got something fucking special going on. The first stage is you start doubting. Maybe we don't. The fourth stage, you're certain we definitely fucking didn't. The next stage, you blame yourself, you feel guilty, it's all my fault. And finally, nothing fucking makes sense anymore, and we are lost. My question to everybody in the crowd, this is just my introduction. Do I have your fucking full attention today for this topic, yes or no? Yeah. Because the main goal of this topic, guys, is this. What I keep noticing, at least in my life, a lot of people are good at building momentum, and they get close to the point where they want to be. They can even fucking see the finishing line, but every single motherfucking time they fuck it up. Yeah. They always fuck it up. My question to everyone today in this room, are you not tired of fucking it up? Yeah. Are you not tired of repeating the same mistakes? Yeah. And how do you feel every time that you know that the mistakes are the same? That's the fun part, is it not? How do you feel every single time that you just repeat the same dumb shit? You know that it's the same dumb shit that is going to bring you back exactly to the point where you started, and you just wasted the previous 3 months of work. How do you feel every time that you do that shit? Idiots. Shame. Shit. So my question to everybody here, if today I give you the exact fucking blueprint, and I will, first of all, we're going to dive into why this happens. I want everybody to understand the cycle and the process. And after that, I'm going to give you an exact blueprint, guys. You know, I'm the system guy, yeah? I'm the system, I'm about to fall. I'm the system guy. I'm the one that likes to put everything into a framework and into a system. I promise you, guys, if you're serious, if you give me everything that you got today, I will give you the exact blueprint that you can follow for once and for all. Not only build momentum, but actually stay up there and never fucking fall again. Are you guys with me? Yeah. Okay. Because we should take this seriously, especially right now, Community Collective. Because right now, we have a lot of people that have just gotten promoted. We have a lot of people that have the biggest team that they ever had. This is the time of danger. This is the time where you're going to learn how to keep it. Otherwise, we could fall back down very, very fucking quickly. So are we ready to get started in this journey and go through this experience? Do I have the full attention of everybody here? Yes. Great. So the first question that we got to ask ourselves is this, guys. Why does that happen? Write it down. Why? Why every single fucking time that I'm getting close, every single time that I can see the end, every single time that I can touch it, it feels that I always go back to the point where I started. Why? And I don't need you to answer to this question. By the way, give a round of applause to my voice. It's coming back. Right? And I don't need you to answer to this question. I'm going to explain to you why. It comes down to temptations, guys. Temptations. Simply because it is part of human nature to enjoy and to pick the easy choices instead of the right one, and to indulge in self-sabotaging behaviors. We like that. It's part of our nature. We understand that self-sabotage is not good for us. Do we logically and rationally understand that? The problem is self-sabotage. The problem is the easy choices. They bring a lot of fucking pleasure into our life, and that's why we like to do them. And the problem is if you're very short-sighted, the pleasure that they bring you, it's greater than the long-term negative consequences that you're going to need to face. The pleasure that they bring you is greater than the long-term consequences that you need to face. Are you guys with me? Yeah. Temptations have been there since the beginning of fucking time. Temptations can destroy everything. I've witnessed the best marriages being destroyed because of temptations. Temptations that one of the two people was not able to handle. The best companies in the world collapse because of temptations. The temptations of the CEO that he or she cannot handle, and everything goes to shit. In history, empire, the strongest fucking empire in human history, have fallen because of the temptations of their kings or because of the temptation of their queens. Nobody is safe from temptation. Do you guys follow me here? Yeah. Even the Bible, okay? And I don't know if you're religious or not, but even the Bible starts with a story of temptations. God creates the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve are living in this beautiful place. They have everything that they want at their disposal to conduct the most pleasant life ever. But that place was built on one rule, which was what? Do not touch that tree. Do not touch that apple. There is only one rule. Is that a pretty simple rule to fucking follow? Do we agree? Right? Somebody gives you everything, must say, hey, just one thing, by the way, don't eat my fucking apples. That to me seems a pretty fair deal. Do we agree? Right? Until one day, and this is how I picture, at least in my head, I'm not saying this is written in the Bible, until one day a snake shows up and whispers in their ears and says something along these lines. Come on, man. It's just one bite. And they go, no, but I've been told that I can't. Don't let anyone telling you what you can and cannot do. It's just one bite. Nobody will notice. And they took that bite. And they got punished as a consequence. And please, if you're religious, do not take offense for me interpreting the Bible in my own way. Okay? You can look at this from a religious standpoint, or you can look at this for an analogy. But the bottom line, guys, we all have that snake into our life. We all do. We all do. Barry mentioned this before. I said yesterday that the easy choices are evil forces. Do you remember that? Because you can come here on stage right now and argue with me if you like. But I can stand still here and tell you that nothing good has ever come from fucking temptations, ever. So if following temptations leads to a terrible life, can we all agree that that's an evil force? And evil forces have been tempting since the beginning of time, are they not? That's why they're fucking evil. That's why they feel so good. That's why it's difficult to resist. Because they are evil. And we all need to understand that. Are you guys with me on this one? Guys, when it comes to temptations, there are always the four main ones, by the way. I'm going to give you the four so you can be aware of what it is that you're facing. And these are the four. We call them the 4 Gs. Are you guys ready for that? Yeah. This comes from Patrick Bet-David, by the way. The first one is greed. Because when we build momentum in our life, one of the major temptations that we face is we get greedy. And we can get greedy in two different ways. One is, I worked so hard for this fucking money. Nobody's helped me. It's all mine. You can't have any. I'm going to keep everything that I earn. You don't fucking deserve it. The other form of greed is, things are going great. They're always going to go great. I'm going to overspend everything that I earn because I'm going to keep making money. I don't need to prepare for the rainy days. And when they do come, then they fucking lose everything. Are you guys with me on this one? The second form of temptations, we all experience that one, is gluttony. Gluttony is when you overdrink. Gluttony is when you overeat. Gluttony is when you oversmoke. Gluttony is when you overdo it with drugs. Because when we have momentum in our life, we feel that we deserve to celebrate. But our interpretation of celebration leads to self-destruction over time. We're going to go through that later on. Is everyone clear about gluttony over here? Yeah. The next one is very interesting, guys. Be ready for this one. Because when you're building momentum in your life, do you get more confident? Yeah. Is confidence an attractive trait to possess? Yeah. Absolutely. When we become confident, we do become more attractive. That is true. So all of a sudden, guys, girls, depending on your sexual orientation, they start paying more attention to us. Has anyone experienced that before? As a consequence of you doing better in life, the single people will enjoy this quite a lot, but as a consequence of you doing better, as a consequence of you getting more results, it just seems that you get more attractive. And now that you get all this attention, you want to fucking make the most out of it. Because you've been working hard. And now that everybody's giving you these attentions, all these girls all of a sudden give you this attention, all these guys give you this attention, you want to make the most out of it. And that can lead to addiction. Are you guys with me on this one? And the next one is gambling. I don't even want to dwell on gambling. My father had to ban himself from every casino in Switzerland because gambling destroyed. That's the reason why. Do you guys find that funny? Was there anything funny about gambling? Okay. That's the reason why my parents actually got divorced in the first place. Because of gambling. So we know where that can lead. Are you guys with me so far? Now, the paradox with all of this, guys, there is a paradox in this. Because as human beings, we are not stupid. Can we acknowledge that? Well, we're not stupid. We know exactly what happened the last time. We know exactly what happened the last time that we fell victim of greed. We know exactly what happened the last time that we fell victim of gluttony. The last time that we developed a sexual addiction. The last time that we started gambling too much. We do clearly remember that the last time wasn't good. Do we agree or disagree? But no matter how clearly we fucking remember it, we do it anyway. And we say the last famous words, the very famous statement, which I'm sure is going to be familiar to a lot of you in the room. And the statement goes as follows. Nah, this time is different. I'm stronger and I know how to control it. Who said that before? I'm not stupid. Ha, 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 ha. Evil laugh. And the last one, only an idiot will fall for that again. And 2 weeks later, your life all of a sudden turns into this. It's a fucking mess. And you sit there and you wonder and ponder. You don't understand how that's even possible. You look outside the window, staring at the stars, wondering and pondering over the meaning of lives, and justifying every single bad choice that you're making at that point by reciting the following quote. Trying is pointless. At some point, I'm gonna die anyway. The very famous author of this quote, which is every fucking idiot on earth. Which is at least all of us 4 to 10 times a year. Is it not? Now we understand what we go through. Can anybody relate to anything that I just said, by the way? Is that how it usually goes? Is that how we usually feel? Okay? Now we know. Now we have gone through the emotional roller coaster here. But now, guys, we're going to break it down with the cycle. Because there is a cycle when it comes to momentum. And once you understand the cycle, you can also understand how to manage it. Are you guys with me? The first part is, guys, when we lose momentum, we fall into despair. I talked about this last year at the conference, the Valley of Despair, if you guys remember that one. When we fall into the Valley of Despair, how do we feel? Good or bad? Horrible. That's when we are extremely emotional. That's when our rationality goes out of the window. That's when we start following self-disruptive behavior and we justify every choice that we make with the following statement. I deserve to switch off. I deserve it. Everything was going so well. Everything turned to shit so quickly. I deserve to take a break. I deserve to drink. I deserve to do drugs. I deserve to sleep in. I deserve to eat shit food. I deserve to go out. Because I fucking tried, but here I am anyway. So what's the point of trying? I deserve to take some fucking time. Have we been there before? And then, as we do these things, how does that usually go? Better or worse? The situation gets worse until we get to stage 2, which is called reaction. Something very fascinating happens at that stage, guys. Something very fascinating happened. Because all this time you have been trading under what we call our perception of survival. I've been talking this quite a lot, but I want to talk about it one more time. As human beings, we all have our own perception of survival, because the goal and the only objective that your brain has in the first place is to make sure that you stay alive. Do you guys follow me? Your brain doesn't care about anything else but your survival. So the question that we got to ask ourselves is, what does survival mean to me? What is my just enough to get by for me? And any time that you're trading under your perception of survival for too long, how does your brain view that situation? As a threat. Your brain views that situation as potential death. So when you get to stage 2, guys, your brain creates a reaction. It's not even yourself. Your brain feels under threat and forces a reaction in your body. The statement that we usually say at stage 2, and tell me the following statement sounds familiar, is, I'm sick and tired of being fucking sick and tired. Have we been there before? And usually when we are sick and tired of being sick and tired, we do 3 things, write them down. Number 1, we set new goals. That's what we do. Number 2, we come up with new resolutions. And we say things like, I'm going to stop drinking, I'm going to stop smoking, I'm going to stop this, I'm going to stop that. And number 3, we come up with new good and healthy habits to follow in our lives. Have we done that before? Yes. Now, when we set new goals, when we come up with resolutions, and when we set good new habits, what happens usually? Do things get better? They always fucking do. And do they get better very quickly once you are sick and tired of being sick and tired? They always do. So very quickly, everything goes up right now. And you get to stage 3, which is what we call safety. At the safety stage is the first time where you can breathe again. You're not trading under your perception of survival anymore. However, at this stage, we don't get complacent. And do you want to know why? Because at this stage, it's too fresh. We still remember exactly what it felt to be down there. We still remember exactly what it felt being in that fucking pit. And we don't want to go back down there. Are you guys with me? Yeah. And we say things like, I'm never going to go to that place ever again. I'm going to do whatever it fucking takes to make sure that I'm not going to fall down there ever again for the rest of my life. So we keep rising, and we keep rising, and we keep rising until we get to the next stage. And pay attention to this one. The next stage is called delusion. At the delusion stage, we are flying very high. But flying high is the problem. Because in order to fly high, you need to deploy a lot of energy, and you need to deploy a lot of effort. But if you look at that graph right now, the delusion stage is way above your perception of survival. As you build this momentum, your perception of survival didn't follow along. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about? So your brain is going to look at that situation and say this, hey, we're flying out, everything is great, but all this energy and all this effort that we need to stay up here is not needed. All we need is to be on the red line. So maybe we're going to pull back a little bit. And that's the stage where you're going to start hearing voices in your head. Voices in your head that are going to tell you, come on, man, you deserve. Come on, man, you deserve. You deserve to skip the gym today. You deserve to sleep in today. You deserve to go out tonight. That's the stage where you're going to be inclined to break the rules that got you there in the first place. Does that make sense? And you break the rule once, and the first time that you break a rule, what does usually happen? Nothing. So because we break a rule once and nothing happens, life is still going, well, what do we start thinking? Maybe there is something here. Maybe this rule does no longer apply. So then we take another rule, and what do? Let's try to fuck this off as well and see what happens. So you break another one, and what happens? Nothing. So then you keep breaking them, and you keep breaking them. And the exception to the rule repeated more than 3 times becomes the new rule. Write this down. The exception to the rule repeated more than 3 times becomes the new rule. We get to a stage at this level where we believe that we are greater than the rules. Are you guys with me? Why? Because we are cocky, we are confident. We developed a lot of confidence on the way up. So even though we are starting to lose the rules due to the high level of confidence that we previously accumulated, we still pull off results. We don't rise as much as we used to do before, but we are still rising. And we start to convince ourselves that the rules that got us there in the first place are no longer needed. Can anyone relate to this? Yeah. And then we get to the last stage. And the last stage is called the unexpected drop. And I put unexpected. Unexpected drop. That's the stage where we fall, guys, and we fall very, very hard. And when we fall at that stage, it's like being in a car accident. You're literally shocked. You're confused. It's intriguing to even think about it. Momentum was just there a couple of days ago. What the fuck just happened? How is it even possible that last week I was so confident, that last week I had the ability to do 17 to 20 sales a week, and all of a sudden, I don't even believe that I can do one sale today. Have we all gone through this before? We know exactly what that feels like. And what's the consequence of that, guys? The main quote that I want you to take away is this: the toxic habits that you fix at your lowest low are the behaviors that you form at your highest high. We always go through this cycle. We always go through this cycle. And when we are at our lowest low, it comes to the point, the reaction point, where we realize what needs to be worked on, and we fix the toxic habits. And when we get to our highest high, guess what we do? We reform these toxic behaviors, and the toxic behaviors are going to bring us down again, 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 and again. Are you guys with me? And the consequence of that, guys, is most people live life like this. For those of you that know me, the guinea pig is my least fucking favorite animal in the planet. And I tell you why it's my least favorite. Because it's an animal that every single day gets up in the morning, gets into the motherfucking wheel, runs all day long, puts everything that is got into the wheel, and then at the end of the day, after running for a full day, is still exactly in the same position that it was this morning. That's how most people live their life, like a guinea pig. That's what we do. And the bottom line, guys, if I can be real with everyone, is this: when we are in our 20s, we have the false belief that we have a lot of time, that this is going to last forever, then we can fix it. But the more time we go through this cycle, and the more time we fall, and the more time we keep repeating the same mistake, the more we start doubting ourselves. Do you guys understand? Our self-esteem goes down. We start feeling fear because we're like, man, I'm getting older. Maybe I'm just not that special. Maybe I'm not meant to do this. And then we get to the point where we compromise. And when we compromise, we say the following statement. Many of your parents have said this statement before. And the statement goes as follows: I tried. I tried. It's time to settle down right now. Enough with the fantasies. Hopefully, my kids will do better. The end. Is that how we want it to end? No. Because here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. There is a blueprint. And there is a blueprint that everybody can execute in order to avoid these fucking ups and downs once and for all. Okay? Because it's the main obstacle. The part is this, guys. A lot of people, we always talk about highs and low management, but the main part that we got to learn how to manage are not even the lows. Because I just show you right now that when you are experiencing your lowest low, you don't even have to react. Your brain does it for you. Do you guys understand? Yeah. What we really need to master are how to manage our highs. And that's the part that we got to get next there. So how do we do it? The way we do it, guys, to fix it, we need to protect momentum as much as we possibly can. Please write it down. I need to protect momentum as much as I can. I need to protect it. And in order to protect momentum, guys, this is what we need to do. We need to build what I call the wall of self-respect. Because when you're flying high, we talked about it before, when you're flying high, there's going to be temptations. There's going to be voices in your head that are going to force you to break the rules. There's going to be those evil forces. You're going to face that snake. So in order to never fall again, I cannot even trust my own self. I cannot trust my own willpower, because unless you're fully trained and unless you've done this many, many times before, do not trust yourself. More than likely, you're going to repeat the same mistake. Are you guys with me? Yeah. So what I'm doing instead, I'm locking myself in. And I need to build a very fucking big, tall wall. And when I look at that wall, there needs to be a positive trade-off. The effort required in order to climb that wall needs to be greater than the pleasure that you're seeking. I'm going to repeat it one more time. The effort required in order to climb that wall needs to be greater than the pleasure that you're seeking. Are you guys with me? Yeah. Are you guys with me? Yeah. Okay, that's the only way. And you can accomplish that by doing two things, guys. You can build a real wall around you, and you can lock yourself in your house for the rest of your fucking days. Is that a good way to do it? No. Or we can do it figuratively. We need to build a figurative wall. And whenever we have the feeling to go back down, because of how that tall that wall is, we don't want to climb it, and we stay exactly where we are. How do we build this wall? Number one, you got to preempt what it is that you're trying to accomplish with your partner, with your family, and with your friends. That's the first. Because whenever we are building momentum in our life and we are starting flying high, the main enemy that we face, or the main enemies that we face, are usually the people that we love, are they not? Our friends giving us that call and say, come on, man, you've been working hard. Just come out for the party tonight. Let's just have one drink. Your own family bringing negativity into your own life that you don't need. Arguments with your girlfriend or with your boyfriend that are not relevant, and you just don't need that negativity right now. Whenever you're trying to accomplish something special, whenever you're going through that journey, you got to sit down the people that you love. You got to sit down your mom, your father, your partner, your friends, whoever it may be, and you got to tell them this. I'm trying to accomplish this right now. I need positivity in my life. If there is anything going wrong, please write it down. And if it's not urgent, we can discuss it in 3 weeks from now. But please let it wait. Unless it's very urgent. Does that make sense? Yeah. Preempt it with everyone. The analogy is the following. I spoke to my girlfriend, Asia, and I said, baby, can I ask you one question? Is it fair that when a lady is pregnant, you got to be more patient towards that person? Because obviously if somebody is pregnant, they tend to get a little bit more emotional. And she said, absolutely, that's very fair. And I said, well, this month I'm the equivalent of pregnant, and the baby that I'm about to have is called press play. So I'm gonna be very emotional. I'm gonna go through ups and downs. I need all the positivity that you can give me this month. I need everything that you have. And baby, I know you're gonna get angry with me sometimes. Please do this. Every time that you're angry, unless it's red fucking cold, write it down on a diary. Put 1st of December 2023 next to it. In a month from now, we can sit down and we can talk about everything. Give Asia a round of applause, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. How important is that? Because the first mistake that we make, if she wasn't aware of this, and I didn't tell her exactly what it is that I'm trying to do this month, she could have got angry because I've been very distracted, I've been very focused. If you preempt the people that are part of your life and you explain to them what it is that you're trying to achieve, rather than holding you back, they're on the same fucking page. And when everybody around you is on the same fucking page, it's a little bit easier. Yes or not? Yes. That's the first thing to build a wall of self-respect, guys. The second time is spend time with people that are actually doing what it is that you're trying to do. I'm going to tell you a funny story. I was here in the Gold Coast, was 3 weeks ago. And I just did the 6-week challenge in Melbourne with the guys, the engine challenge. We went from 187 sales to 320 sales in 6 fucking weeks. Let's give ourselves a round. During those 6 weeks, guess what I was teaching? This. That's all I was talking about. During those 6 weeks, I talked about momentum. During those 6 weeks, I talked about the wall of self-respect. During those 6 weeks, I talked about the evil voices. I explained to them the delusion stage. I explained to them that you're going to start breaking your own rules and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm here in the Gold Coast. I'm here in the Gold Coast with Jeremy and Barry. We are in the car, right? And after those 6 weeks, I go to Jeremy and I say, mate, let's go out for a couple of drinks. I deserve to have them. And I literally stop right there and I'm like, wow, everything that I've been fucking teaching for the last month and a half just came out of my mouth and was completely fucking wrong. Jazz at that time was doing the 75 hard. He wasn't drinking. So I glue myself to him, and I'm like, well, as long as I'm with him tonight, I'm not going to drink. End of the fucking story. Do you guys understand? So my point here is, no matter how strong you think you are, no matter how experienced you think you are, it can fucking happen to the best of us. Do you guys understand? The next one is accountability. If you want to build the wall of self-respect that you never want to fall ever again, send a message to the 10 or 20 people that you love the most. Send a message to the 10 or 20 people that you respect the most and tell them what it is that you're committing to. But when you send them that text message, apply a penalty to it. And say, if I break my word, I owe you $1,000. If I break my word, I owe you this. If I break my word, you can take this away from me. Why is it so difficult to put a penalty attached to our accountability statements? Why do we find it so complicated? What's that? We don't trust ourselves. We don't trust ourselves that we're going to follow through in the first place, guys. But if there are no penalties attached to the rules, there is no incentives to respect the rules in the first place. Do you guys understand what I mean? Yeah. Who likes speed limits? Who's a big fan? Like, who's a big fan of the 40 kilometers per hour fucking speed limit, sometimes even on the highway? Is anyone a big fan of that? Okay, Joe Briscoe loves it. Who enjoys paying taxes? Anyone here? Anyone here that at the end of the year they're like, fuck yeah, it's almost the end of June, man. Like, why are you so excited? I'm about to pay a shit ton of tax, bro. I really can't wait. Anyone here has that problem? Briscoe. But most of us, except for Jeremy, most of us, we respect speed limits anyway. Most of us, we pay taxes anyway. Not because we care, not because we want to, but because we know that if we don't respect the speed limit, if we don't pay the taxes, we are going to get punished. There is a consequence attached to it. So when it comes to accountability, if you really want to experience a real change in your life, you need to attach the penalty exactly in the same way. And when you attach that penalty, you say things like, if I don't follow through with this, I owe you $500. Does it feel intimidating when you do shit like that? Yeah. Absolutely, because at the beginning, you don't trust yourself. And that's the fucking key. The next point, guys, to build the wall of self-respect, you need to be aware of my I deserve. What are your I deserve? What are your 4 G's or 2 G's? What are the behaviors that every single time that you're flying high, you start following? Because we all have the same shit, don't we? It's always the same. But you know what's funny? Even though it's always the same, whenever we experience it again, what do we say to ourselves? No. This time is different. I'm stronger. I know how to control it. Ha. Does that make sense? Be aware of my I deserve. If you truly want to get better, you got to sit there and be like, what do I always fucking do? What do I always do? And one I deserve can lead to 10 more. There is always that one I deserve that ignites everything else. Do you guys understand? It might be that one night out that then leads to 3 days, that then leads to 1 week. You guys really got to self-analyze yourself, because the funny thing about this, it's always exactly the same. It never does change. We go through the same pattern again and again and again, but our perception perceives them as different. When you really break it down, they're always the fucking same. Are you guys with me? Yeah. And the last one is remove yourself from the wrong environments. A lot of people, I think, they approach this in the wrong way, and they say, no, I'm going to go out with this group of friends anyway. I'm stronger right now. I can handle it. Maybe you can, but why do you put yourself in that situation when you're trying to now keep the momentum in your life? We all have the environments that leads to bad behavior, don't we? For you, it might be a bar. There might be that specific fucking bar that whenever you go there, you don't come home until 9 a.m. in the morning. Or for you, might be that friend. You just know it. You know that friend that we all have? They were like, come on, man, let's catch up for a beer. Yeah, but tonight is going to be just one. Let's promise each other we are trying to get better. No matter what the fuck it is that you're trying to do, you find you or that mate at 7 a.m. in the morning lying in front of McDonald's eating a fucking cheeseburger. It might be a song. It might be a place. It might be a destination. It might be a location. It might be whatever. You know what the fuck that is. Does that make sense? Write a list of my I deserve. Write a list of what your environments are. And follow all these 5 points right here. Preempt everybody in your life. Do everything that I said today. Build the wall of self-respect and check what happens in your life. The second thing that I got to do, guys, because when you build the wall of self-respect, which is by doing the 5 things that I just said, you feel like you wanted to climb that wall every single fucking day. The voices are not going to stop. Again, you got to make that wall very, very tall, otherwise you're just going to fucking climb it. In order to stay up there and never falling again, the wall of self-respect is just a temporary solution. It's not going to last forever. In order to never fall again, there is only one way. And the way to do it is to redefine your perception of survival. The only way to do it is to redefine what survival means to you. You got to raise that threshold, because the moment that the threshold has been raised, your brain is going to do the job for you. You don't even have to think about it, because whenever you fall below that threshold, your brain is going to identify that situation as a potential threat, and then you will react accordingly. We talked about this all the time, and people have asked me the question about how do I do it? How do I clearly redefine the perception of survival? Do I do that through affirmation? Some people try to do that. Do I do that through a visualization? Do I do that by having a better network? Do I do that by spending time with better people? And the answer is yes, a little bit of all of them. But ultimately, in order to redefine what just enough to get by means to you, there is only one way. And do you know what that way is? You need to stay up there for long enough. That's it. In order to redefine your perception of survival, you need to stay up there for long enough. Why? Because anything exceptional experienced for a consistent and long enough period of time becomes the new normal. Do you guys understand? You need to give your brain enough time to now look at this new life that you're living, and your brain have enough time to register that new life that you're living as your new normal. You think about it, everything in life happens like that, guys. A Rolex. Who has a Rolex here? Okay. Was it special the first day that you got it? After a while, it becomes just a watch. It is. You don't wake up every morning looking at your Rolex with the excitement that you have on day one. A Louis Vuitton. The first time that you get it is very exciting. You open that amazing fucking box. You're so excited. For the ladies, this might be very relatable. After a while that you're losing that Louis Vuitton, it just becomes a bag. A Ferrari. It's funny to watch my father, right? I just went home and he bought a Ferrari and a Lamborghini. And I'm like, oh my God, this is an amazing car or whatever. My father almost kicked it. And he's like, yeah, it's so noisy, annoys me. It's just a fucking car in his eyes. And for us, it's like, oh my fucking God, a Ferrari. $1 million in the bank, after a while, becomes just a bunch of digits on a screen. Do you guys see a pattern here? You want to redefine your perception of survival, there is only one way. Lock yourself up there for as long as you fucking and possibly can to give your brain enough time to perceive this new level as the new normal. Are you guys with me? Yes. But a lot of people fuck this up. They get to a new level, they stay there for one day, and then they say what? I'm going to go. No, they achieve it. One day after, they're like, no, I'm going to go for another level up there. They haven't given their brain enough time to register this one. Now they go for one that is even higher. The perception of survival remain down here, and when they fucking fall, they're going to fall really fucking hard. As you are climbing, you need to give enough time for your brain to adjust. You need to give enough time for your brain to register this new situation as the new normal. Are you guys with me? Yes. Are you guys with me? Yes. Okay, so how do we do this? Guys, the good news is this. Raising your perception of survival naturally happens as a consequence of building the wall of self-respect. All you gotta do is you gotta stay up there. Build that fucking wall, make it super tall, and the longer you stay up there, the more your brain will adjust and register that situation as the new normal. Does that make sense? On top of that, you can do a couple of things to optimize the process. The first one is you can remove the negative triggers from your life. Because there is one emotion that can really force you to climb that wall. It's the emotion of anger. When we are very angry, we'll fucking do anything. We'll climb that fucking wall. We go back down to where we come from. So during this process, guys, I want to minimize my anger as much as I possibly can. Do you guys follow? Yes. You got to think about everything that makes you angry. What are even the smallest triggers? For me, I talked about this to my guys quite a lot. I know for a fact that if I have to wake up in the morning and my shirts are not ironed, my gym bag is not ready, my outfit is not ready, I absolutely fucking lose my shit. Because I can't, my girlfriend usually sleeps when I wake up, right? Just full disclosure here. So I just can't stand in the morning being with the torch of my phone, looking for my shirts, looking for my gym items. Makes me lose my shit. So I have two options here, guys. I can keep doing that every single morning, or what can I do? I can prepare. So the night before, no matter how I feel, even when I'm tired, even when I want to go to sleep, I prepare my gym bag. I make sure that my shirt is there. I make sure that my suit is there. I make sure that all the little things that make me angry do not happen on a daily basis. That is called safeguarding my attitude. Does that help in the process? Absolutely. And the next one, guys, is be aware of the warning signs. For me, a warning sign that I'm always aware of, the moment that I start feeling that I'm always tired, I know that there is something wrong in my life. I don't accept it. I'm like, if I'm always tired, if I'm always exhausted, it's not because I'm working hard, it's because I'm unbalanced in some areas of my life. I'm lacking something right now. So whenever I start seeing the warning signs manifesting, I start investigating and I start analyzing my life to find the answer. Does that make sense to everyone? So now we have them, right? We build the wall of self-respect. Naturally, by building the wall of self-respect, we are going to raise our perception of survival. And the last thing that I can do, guys, Jeremy is going to talk more about this later on, make the reason bigger than you. Lock yourself in and load yourself up with a lot of responsibilities. Because again, ultimate freedom just means indefinite unhappiness. I'm not going to dwell on this. Jeremy is going to talk about later on. Once I build the wall of self-respect, once the perception of survival has been raised, in order to lock myself in and never fall ever again, there is only one way. Load yourself up with as many responsibilities as you possibly can. Make yourself responsible to a certain level of extent for the people that you love and for the people that you care about. And why is that, guys? It's very simple, because lying to yourself, it's way easier than lying to the ones that you love and the ones that you care about. True or not true? When somebody else is involved, when the future of somebody else is on the line, you're going to be way more disciplined and you're going to be way more attentive when it comes to following through. Does that make sense? Yeah. Guys, that's literally it. That's literally it. All I wanted to do today, guys, is to explain to you why we keep going through these cycles. And I wanted to give you a logical breakdown of what it is that we go through every single time. And all I wanted to do today, guys, is to give you a proper blueprint to follow. Now, you know it. As soon as you're starting to experience something good in your life, build the wall of self-respect, raise the perception of survival, and lock yourself in with more responsibilities. Ultimately, what I believe is this: everybody is special. Everybody has the ability to be a winner every now and then. The problem with people is that are just not consistent enough. Do you agree on that one? Yes. I know what going through the ups and downs of momentum feels like. I've been there. I know what making a lot of money and losing everything that you just made feels like. I've been there. And when I was there, do you know what the main problem was? I was proud of that. I was proud because no matter how many times I kept falling, no matter how many times I fell on that floor, I always had the strength to pick myself up. And I thought that I was special because of that. I didn't realize back then that pretty much every other human being can do the same. Because when we pick ourselves up from that floor, it's not even us reacting. It's our brain forcing a reaction because our perception of survival is under threat. The message that I want to make clear, guys, is this. There is no pride on falling on the same fucking floor again and again. Even if you have the courage to pick yourself back up, even if you have the courage to stand up again, if you keep falling on the same floor, there is no fucking pride in it. Are you guys with me? Yeah. The secret here is you got to build a new level. The secret here is you got to build a new floor. And as long as you keep falling on a floor that is a little bit higher, you know that you're moving forward and you know that you're doing the right thing. And the last thing that I wanted to say, guys, is why should you follow everything that I talked about today? In my opinion, is very simple. It's because everything is at stake. Your life is at stake, your dreams are at stake, and your legacy is at stake. And I'm going to leave you all with this quote one more time. Don't ever forget. The toxic habits that you fix at your lowest low are the behaviors that you form at your highest high. And with that being said, thank you very much, everybody, and have a good day.